Welcome along to the deep dive. This is where we take a whole load of sources and really pull out the key bits, the insights.
All tailored for you, the learner.
Exactly.
Right.
We want to cut through all the noise, leave you feeling genuinely informed, maybe spark a few
Give
ideas.
you those aha moments.
Yeah, hopefully. So today we're getting into the story of Daniel Reed. It's from Career Success. And it's a really compelling look at passion struggle.
And what success actually looks like in a career, maybe not always the way you'd think.
Right. We're going to trace his path from, quite humble beginnings.
All the way to becoming a tech founder.
Yeah. And for you listening, our mission here is to really unpack his journey. What were the key moments? The decisions.
What can we all learn from his experiences about building a career that, actually means something?
Our source is this really detailed story about him. So let's just jump in.
Sounds good. Where do we start? Chapter 1.
Yeah, chapter 1 sets the scene, really. Daniel's early life in a town called Fairhaven. Small place, quiet.
Peaceful, it sounds like.
Totally. His dad is a mechanic. His mom worked in a bakery. So not rolling in money.
But rich in other ways, right? Love, value, support. That comes through strongly.
It really does. And Daniel himself, he had this built-in curiosity, always asking questions, always reading.
That thirst for knowledge, you see it right from the start, seems really fundamental to who he becomes.
Yeah, it feels like a crucial starting point. That environment, even without wealth, it gave him something solid.
Absolutely. That support system, that encouragement to learn, it's like vital capital, isn't it? Even if it's not financial.
And that curiosity, it just keeps driving him.
It's the engine, yeah. Fuels that kind of learning that, it often leads to bigger things later on, shows you success can start anywhere, really.
And then there's this moment, he's 12, sees a video about Steve Jobs.
The catalyst.
Exactly. It just clicks for him, this idea of building something, from scratch, making an impact.
Creates that desire, that entrepreneurial spark. Makes you wonder about those little moments that just change everything.
Totally. It highlights how important exposure is, right? To ideas, to people.
And his mother's reaction is just brilliant. Her advice.
Oh, yeah. Then start small, my son. Every big tree starts as a tiny seed.
Such simple wisdom, but so powerful. And it echoes through his whole story, that idea of just starting. Taking small steps.
It really does. He lives it. Gets his first job at 15, local grocery store.
Right. Stocking shelves, cleaning up. Not exactly glamorous.
No, but he learns stuff. Real stuff. Politeness, patience, dealing with people.
And that every job has value. Every skill matters. That respect for the process.
Seems like those foundational experiences really shaped him.
They build character, don't they? Those life skills, responsibility, customer service, they stick with you no matter what you do later.
And he wasn't just phoning it in. He was actively learning outside of work, too.
The library trips.
Yeah.
Reading about business, computers, successful people.
And that notebook. My career map. I mean, wow. Talk about being proactive.
That shows real intention, doesn't it? Actively thinking about his future, mapping it, taking ownership.
And he starts doing things, small things, fixing old computers.
Trying to build a website for a bakery. Imperfect attempts, but he's doing it.
Exactly. Not waiting for perfection, just starting. Learning by, messing up, probably.
That's often how you learn the most, right? Overcoming that fear of just starting, that bias towards action.
And it pays off. End of high school, he saves enough for a laptop. Big deal for him.
And that dream is solid now. Business and technology.
Then, the scholarship. Full ride to the State Business and Technology Institute.
Huge. And his essay mentioning his journey, his dreams, That clearly connected.
Yeah, shows how important it is to be able to tell your story, right? Link your past to your future goals.
It's proof of his hard work, his vision, and communicating that vision. Opportunity often finds people like that.
You can just feel that moment. Getting the news, calling his parents.
Oh, the pride. Must have been overwhelming.
Yeah. And then the move.
Uh-huh.
Off to the city, leaving Fairhaven behind. Big step.
A huge step into the unknown. But this first chapter, it really lays it all out. The curiosity, the work ethic, the courage.
Yeah, it sets the stage perfectly. It wasn't luck. It was all these little steps adding up. The scholarship wasn't the end. It was just the beginning.
Exactly. A launching pad. Which brings us to chapter 2.
Right. The city. A whole new world. Tall buildings, busy streets, noise. Must have been a shock after Fairhaven.
Definitely a sensory overload. And that mix of nerves and excitement, I think most people can relate to that feeling in a new situation.
It tests you, doesn't it? Your adaptability.
For sure. And school wasn't easy either. Challenging classes, noisy roommates.
Homesickness, too. Easy to get overwhelmed.
But he didn't. He remembered his mom's advice, right? The tiny seed. Stay focused.
And he was so proactive. Front row in class, asking questions, studying late, making a schedule, taking control.
That self-discipline is key. He wasn't just letting things happen to him. He was actively shaping his experience, taking ownership.
Then there's this guest speaker, Miss Elena Park. Successful entrepreneur.
Ah, yes. Another key influence.
Her advice feels pivotal. Start small, find a real problem, and try to solve it step by step.
So direct, so actionable, especially for someone like Daniel, already thinking along those lines.
It just connects with him. And it gives him a framework, really. Validates his earlier efforts.
And that focus on a real problem, that's crucial. Grounds the whole thing.
And he finds one right there at the Institute. The online system. Old, slow, frustrating everyone.
Perfect. A problem he experiences himself that affects his peers, shows he's observant.
And he doesn't just complain, he starts digging into it, talking to students, teachers.
Understanding the needs, gathering feedback, basically doing early stage market research without even calling it that.
Right. Very smart. Then he teams up, finds a coder, finds a designer.
The classic startup move, combining different skills to tackle the problem together.
And they commit. I mean, really commit. Late nights, no parties, library sessions.
Sacrifices. And failures, too, the story mentions. Important to remember that part. It's not smooth sailing.
No, definitely not. But they keep going. They build a working version. ClassLink, they call it.
And get some positive feedback from a professor, the dean.
Yeah. Which leads to a test run.
Yeah.
Just in one department, but still. Huge validation.
That kind of early win is so motivating, shows you're on the right track, gives you that boost.
And then that thought starts to creep in. Wait, maybe this is more than just a project.
Maybe this could be a real business, especially when other colleges start showing interest.
Exactly. But then the reality hits. Still in classes, no money, no office.
The practical hurdles. Turning the idea into something sustainable, that's the next big challenge.
But Daniel, he thinks back, right, to that first job at the grocery store.
Remembers he can work hard, overcome stuff, draw strength from that.
It's amazing how those early lessons stay with you, give you resilience.
It really is. All those experiences add up. They build that mindset. So the ladder's there, but yeah, the climb's just getting started.
Okay, chapter 3. ClassLink is gaining momentum. Used in 2 colleges now.
But growth creates new problems, doesn't it? More users means.
It means needing better servers, more support, and crucially, more money. They're hitting a wall.
The bootstrapping phase can only take you so far. It's a common growing pain. Need to scale up.
So along comes the Startup Challenge. A chance to win $20,000 in mentorship.
A lifeline, potentially. And validation from experts.
They go all in preparing, making a video, practicing the pitch over and over, polishing the app. High stakes.
Competitions like that force you to sharpen everything. Your idea, your story, your delivery.
The big day arrives. Nerves, I'm sure. But Daniel nails the pitch. Focuses on the problem, the students, the experience.
And they win. First prize. Money, mentorship, even some office space. Huge.
Massive validation. And you just know that call to his parents was something special.
Oh, absolutely. Pure joy and pride.
Then things get serious. Registering the company, opening a bank account, hiring more developers.
Student developers, right. Keeping it lean, but expanding capacity.
Yeah, and getting a small office near campus. It's official now. A real company.
But the grind doesn't stop. If anything, it gets more intense.
Totally. Classes all day, class link until midnight, weekends gone. Relentless.
And the setbacks keep coming. App crashes, user complaints. It's tough.
Daniel has moments of doubt. Completely understandable.
But he goes back to that notebook, right? The career map.
Yeah, and that line, fear is normal, quitting is not.
Wow. That's his anchor. His internal compass helps him push through. That mental resilience is just critical.
They do push through. By year end, they were in 5 colleges, get invited to an entrepreneur event.
And that's where they meet Raj Mehta, the venture capitalist.
Yep. He sees the potential, shows interest, but Daniel's smart about it. Cautious.
Doesn't just jump at the money. He thinks it through, talks to the team, shows maturity.
Definitely. They decide to take a smaller investment from Raj. Less risky.
Smart move. Gives them the resources they need without giving up too much control, probably.
Allows them to improve the app, hire support staff, and crucially,
land their first paid contract with a private university.
Exactly. A massive step towards being self-sustaining. This whole chapter feels like that leap of faith, you know.
From small-town kid to tech founder. Still making mistakes, still facing fear, but getting stronger moving forward.
All from that small idea and a really big belief.
Incredible progress. What happens next? Chapter 4.
Chapter 4. Fast forward 2 years, ClassLink is flying. Over 20 schools using it.
12 full-time employees. Getting lots of investor interest sounds like major success.
It does. But that success brings pressure. Long hours are still the norm. Daniel's got less personal time.
And the team starts to feel it too. Priya and Michael.
Yeah, they worry they're losing focus. Chasing growth, metrics, forgetting why they started, forgetting the students.
The classic dilemma, growth versus purpose. A dangerous place to be.
It feels like a real crossroads. And Daniel recognizes it. He takes this walk back to the campus library.
Back to where it all began, in a way.
Right? Pulls out the notebook again. And that line hits him. Never trade purpose for popularity.
Powerful reminder. So what does he do?
Calls a team meeting. Let's talk values, direction. Let's reassess.
Good leadership. Open dialogue. Getting back to the why.
They actually review the product. Cut features that aren't really helping. Add stuff for time management, mental health, better feedback.
Making it simpler, but more useful. Focusing on real value, not just features for feature's sake.
But not everyone likes it. One investor pulls out. Wants that rapid scaling. Doesn't care about the values bit.
Ouch. That takes conviction to stick to your guns when funding walks away.
Daniel stands firm, though. We're here to serve student needs, he says. And then something amazing happens.
What's that?
This article goes viral. National education blog. The startup that chose values over hype.
Wow. So staying true actually paid off in a public way.
Big time. Organic growth spikes. People trust them more. Shows that values can be a strength, you know?
Absolutely. Authenticity resonates. It can be a real differentiator.
And then, maybe the most impactful moment yet. An email arrives.
From where?
Kenya. A school principal.
Yeah.
Limited resources. Asking if they can use ClassLink.
Wow. Talk about reach.
And the teens' reaction is incredible. They jump on it.
Yeah.
Create a special version for low internet areas, translate parts.
No hesitation, just pure mission focus.
Within 3 months, it's running in 3 schools in Africa. Just amazing.
That puts everything in perspective, doesn't it? That's real impact.
You can feel Daniel's pride. Success isn't just about the numbers anymore. It's about the difference they're making.
He's redefining it for himself.
Yeah. And he writes this in his notebook. Success is not only what you build, it's what you protect while building it.
That says it all, really. Protecting the purpose, the integrity along the way.
Okay, chapter 5. The final stretch of this story. We're 4 years in.
And ClassLink is huge now. Over 100 schools, 3 countries, 200,000 students, 25 employees.
Sustained success. And Daniel, he seems to have found more balance, visiting family, mentoring.
Teaching at his old college, too. Giving back. Come
Yes.
full circle.
It paints a picture of, like, holistic success. Not just the business thriving, but him too.
Yeah. Finding fulfillment beyond just the company itself.
Then comes the bombshell, the big offer,
The acquisition offer.
$25 million from a major tech company.
Wow. Life-changing money. The kind of exit many founders dream of.
Definitely. But Daniel, he hesitates. He sees the money, sure, but he also sees what might happen to ClassLink.
Merged, feature stripped, loss of control over the mission.
Exactly. It's that dilemma again, writ large. Financial gain versus purpose and legacy.
It's a tough decision. What does he do?
He struggles with it. Sleepless nights. Thinks about the whole journey, the team, the students, Kenya, his mom's advice.
All those core values pulling at him.
He goes home, visits his dad in Fairhaven,
Back to his roots for guidance.
and his dad gives him this gem. Son, money's a tool, but purpose, that's a compass. It keeps you going in the right direction.
Simple, profound, cuts right through it.
It gives Daniel the clarity he needs. He turns down the offer.
Declines $25 million.
Yep. Says ClassLink is a mission, not just about profit. Some people probably thought he was crazy.
But for him, it felt right. Liberating, maybe.
Exactly. He felt liberated, committed again to the vision.
That takes incredible courage and conviction, prioritizing impact over the payout.
And they pivot slightly. Start this new program, Code to Lead.
Aimed at kids from small towns. Like him.
Yeah. Training them to be tech creators. Paying it forward, Daniel gets really involved, visiting classrooms, giving talks.
Inspiring the next generation. Using his own story.
There's this sweet moment with a shy student who gets inspired to build her own app after hearing him. He encourages her. It's perfect.
That's the real legacy, isn't it? Not just the company, but empowering others.
And his final note in the book just sums it all up. Success is not measured in dollars, but in the lives you touch. I didn't sell my company, but I built something I'll never lose.
Beautiful. The real win wasn't the money. It was the impact, the purpose, helping others climb too.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, Daniel Reed's journey, it really offers so much insight, doesn't it, about what career success can actually mean. It's way more than just money or status.
Absolutely. And for you, the learner, we hope digging into this story has brought some clarity, maybe those aha moments we talked about.
Yeah, his story, from Fairhaven through all the challenges to that final big decision, I think there are lessons there for everyone, whatever you're aiming for.
It definitely makes you think. Which leads us to that final thought for you, our listener.
What is your personal definition of true success? What does it really look like for you?
And maybe just as importantly, what are those core values, that sense of purpose that you need to protect while you're building whatever it is you're building?
How does your purpose align with your goals? something to mull over.
Definitely.
Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive into Daniel's story.
We look forward to exploring more compelling stories and sources with you next time.